Welcome to another episode of Dutch Guy's Garage. In this episode, we're gonna go rescue my grandpa's old truck. So, Grandpa passed away quite a few years ago, and we're gonna go get his old truck and see what we can do, bring it home, and get it back on the road. Well, now it's my truck, so it's a little bit different than our normal vehicles we show on this channel. So, we're gonna have a little multi-part series about getting this truck back on the road that hasn't been on the road since way before I existed. So yeah, should be a fun one.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. Life instead of everything you know that you can get. Don't let them guide your life towards a grave.
What do you say we get thrown out of an Applebee's?
Yeah! Well, alright, it's home. We since brought it home, took the topper off, first thing. Sorry, Grandpa. Gotta get that out of the way. And we're since going through the back of it. Look how awesome the back of this tailgate is. It's a big old flat workbench. Like, no dips, no grooves, just flat. And relatively dump free. So, we're going to go through, well, I guess what a man acquires in so many years in the back of his pickup truck. So far, there's a whole bunch of sand, which he built a nice little frame for. I just took those out over there. That's actually like brand new tire chains for this truck. And there's 4 of them. So apparently Grandpa was going to get serious with tire chains at some point. But they're all brand new. And I'm sure they're somewhat older than I am. But there's a fender that I got him many years ago. I drove I drove like 16 hours to get him a new, I think it was a new driver's side if I remember right. One of these had fire damage. Yeah, this one. So this one's got fire damage and the paint, or the metal's all annealed. But he always had problems where the primer would never stick to it. So I never tried tinkering with it, but the old boy knew what he was doing, so probably gonna have to swap that fender on. But yeah, there's some brakes in here, which they're of the disc variety, and so this is a drum truck, so I don't know what those are for. There's well, he used to work for a towing company, well, local garage / towing company. So there's an old truck cord there, so that must be his snatch cord for when he gets stuck. And there's a spare cover and a full-size spare with an alloy, and does not match the alloys on the truck. But that's okay. And a piece of foam probably for his back when he was plowing. I took the blankets off the seat, and I just checked this out. Oh, nope. Just nice and crisp. So it's a little dirty. Typical older truck. Didn't survive the 80s without somebody with a Sawzall and putting speakers in it. But it's got a like early 80s Dodge truck bench seat. So that's in nice shape. It folds forward so you can get to the the death machine behind you, which I found out does not have a vented cap on it. And Dad's thinking was that was so you wouldn't have the vapor from the tank, but when if you run the truck, it'll actually make a vacuum over there. So I don't know if Grandpa cracked that or what we did, but yeah, it's got a radio in here and the battery's hooked up, so it's got like the very 90s darkness thing on the glove box. That doesn't go anywhere. It's just a hollow cavity. I'm sure that's how it was factory. And yeah, a whole bunch of olive drab green. So and the one thing I haven't looked at, this antenna, this has got to go. Sorry, Grandpa, but that's not gonna work. But Tires are looking about newish. They're not white letters. I haven't looked to see anything that they're white letters on the back yet. But as for the power plant, it's definitely a it's a 360, but it's actually a roller 360, and with some old school Holley valve covers, and got new exhaust on it, and everything's been pretty much tidied up. We got to finish deleting on the old plow frame, so all this is going to come off probably tonight. I'm going to get rid of all the plow stuff. Sorry, Grandpa, we got to get rid of it. So these hoods are like surprisingly light, and they go really flat. And look, you can work in your garage and you can see the actual motor. It's wonderful. Great design. We should have kept that. So windshield wipers, they're there. I don't know if they function. I don't know. There's a Dodge box on the dash. I wonder what that is. It's probably sunglasses. Big old steering wheel. Oh, there's something in here. Something in here. This is hard to do one-handed. Oh, let's get it out of the dark. It is stuck. Ha! Quintessential old man. I kept him a set of points and some earbuds. I'm gonna guess these are probably points. Yep, point set. Which is funny because pretty sure this has an electronic ignition. So maybe this was left over from when it used to be points. Is it points? I don't know. It fired up. We didn't have to file anything. This truck hasn't been fired very much in the past long time. It probably has sunglasses on the dash. Needs a headliner. Definitely needs a headliner. Oh, we're going to check the lights. Assuming that we know how to turn the lights on. Well, we got a light on the dash. Do we have taillights? No taillights. Well, we got lightage up here. Barn is a mess. That's going to be rectified rather soon. We got lights. That one's a little dim. That one might be broke. That's got a bad lens. I got to get a lens for that. And then we got 3 out of 5 for the clearance lights. That's not bad. Definitely was a Hollander. Some things you look at, it just makes me laugh. Makes me think of my grandpa. So we're gonna get this cleaned out. We're gonna keep cleaning. See if we can get the rear of the truck up in the air, because technically it's got a horrible like Cali lean to it right now. So let's get that rear back in the air, and hopefully the leaf springs aren't too heavily damaged. So see you guys in a minute. All right. So we've dived deeper into the old 69 Power Wagon project, and well, got the bed cleaned out for the most part. You can see the nice fender. You can see the spare that doesn't match any of the wheels on the truck, but hey, it's got a new center cap. Panther. So, that's nice. It's got a nice bed. There's one little dent, like right in there. But unless you're like really looking at it, you're not going to see it. So, I'm thinking I want to paint match this entire bed to the truck, which is going to be that color teal way up there. That's also a swept line tailgate up there. It's a beautiful teal. So, thinking like white roof, like the 70s trucks had, and I think the 60s trucks had. This is new for me, so we're flying off the top of our hats, and yeah, we're gonna have white top, teal body. So, anyways, we found out that some leaf springs that were in the bed, so old timer must have removed those for some reason. I haven't quite figured it out. Maybe it was to get a better angle on the plow that we had on it. But so we got to go tomorrow, get some spring bolts. We'll throw this guy in the air, we'll drop the axle, knock that spring bolt out, and restack the leaf springs. I'm thinking I'm going to go out back and grab one more leaf spring, well, spring itself, and then add, so we'll be adding 3 to the pack on each side. Try and get it so we get rid of this. I was hoping it was just gonna figure it out once we got all the sandbags out, but we still have quite the lean, so it's kind of neat. And the rest of this plow frame is gonna make this front end go up even higher. So I'm thinking we might even go 4, because if we go 4, then we might throw her back to where she's supposed to be. But we'll see where the pinion angle rides. So there'll be some playing around, but yeah. So this monstrosity was underneath of it, and it was a horrible pain in the rear to get out. But so it had this were the plow mounts and attached to the frame, and then they had these huge legs. They go these massive plates that are not bolted to the frame, but they have 3 bolts running on the top, 3 bolts running on the bottom to like square it up. I don't know how it never moved, but I didn't engineer it. So so the other thing that we found out that I have in common with my grandfather, besides, you know, bloodline and everything, is the heat. You got to harden the furnace. It's in the decel mode. So that's ATF. And ATF is coming out of our disconnected plow cylinder. So I had to have a little chuckle because, you know, essentially when you have a serpentine belt fed pump, all this is usually just a power steering pump. There's usually guys that will just they'll just run the Meyer plow fluid that costs $65 a quart. Nope. Grandpa did the same thing I did, and he just runs ATF because that works. So just a small chuckle. Thought it was funny. But yeah, we're going to take the rest of our bolts out. We're going to drop this monstrosity out, and then probably going to call it a night for tonight, and then we'll come back in the morning. So and get these bolts out and get this thing out of the way. Well, let's kind of conclude where we were. It's tornado weather outside, so the first storm's past us, so you can see the LED lights are picking up the frequency from the generator that's running. So yeah, I figured you guys aren't going to want to watch a video where the light's strobing. So hopefully the power's back on somewhat soon, and we'll go back on the 69 Power Wagon. So see you guys in the next one. It's Dutch Guy's Garage. Always remember, they don't move until you do.